First of all, thank you so much to all our subscribers. Without you, we would be nothing. You mean the world to us. We appreciate you so much. If you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe. Now into a new story. The forest was alive, but not with the usual sounds of nature. Tonight it whispered with danger. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. Twisted branches, like skeletal fingers, reached out to snare the unwary traveler. The moon, a pale sliver in the sky, did little to penetrate the oppressive darkness. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, echoed like a scream in the stillness. This was a place where nightmares lurked, waiting to claim their victims. Daniel shivered, pulling his thin jacket tighter around himself. He never intended to be in the forest after dark, but his jeep had broken down, leaving him stranded miles from civilization. He had no choice but to press on, hoping to find help. He clutched his flashlight, its beam a feeble attempt to push back the darkness. The path, barely visible in the daylight, was now treacherous. Each step was fraught with uncertainty, the unknown stretching out before him like a hungry beast. As dusk settled, a strange transformation began in the heart of the forest. The innocent croaking of frogs, a comforting sound just moments ago, took on a sinister tone. The croaks grew louder, deeper, transforming into guttural growls that echoed through the trees. Hidden among the ferns and undergrowth, the frogs began to swell, their smooth, slimy skins stretched taut, their eyes glowing with an eerie internal light. These were no ordinary frogs. These were creatures of nightmare, their true nature revealed only under the cloak of darkness. The giant frogs, now the size of small dogs, were masters of disguise. They blended seamlessly into their surroundings, their mottled green and brown skin mimicking the patterns of the forest floor. Their eyes, however, betrayed their true nature. They shone like malevolent stars, scanning the darkness for unsuspecting prey. They moved with surprising speed and agility, their long, sticky tongues lashing out to ensnare their victims. Daniel stumbled through the undergrowth, his heart pounding in his chest. He could hear the growls of the frogs all around him, their eyes like glowing embers in the darkness. He knew they were close. Suddenly he tripped, sprawling headlong into a thicket of ferns. As he lay there, catching his breath, he felt something cold and slimy brush against his cheek. He froze, his blood turning to ice in his veins. Slowly he turned his head. Inches from his face, he found himself staring into the eyes of a giant frog. Its mouth was open in a silent snarl, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Daniel recoiled in horror, scrambling back. He struggled to his feet, but it was too late. The forest floor around him seemed to come alive with giant frogs, their eyes glowing menacingly. He was surrounded, trapped. His flashlight flickered and died, plunging him into absolute darkness. Panic welled up inside him, threatening to overwhelm him, but then he remembered something. Fire! The frogs seemed to shy away from the light. Frantically, he rummaged through his backpack, his fingers trembling. He found his lighter and a small crumpled newspaper. Hope, fragile but real, flickered in his chest. With shaking hands, he managed to light the newspaper. The flames, small at first, grew quickly, casting dancing shadows on the trees. The frogs, hissing and croaking, retreated from the light, their eyes like glowing coals. Daniel, clutching the burning newspaper like a lifeline, slowly backed away. He knew he couldn't outrun them, but maybe, just maybe, he could hold them off long enough to find a way out of this nightmare. He stumbled through the undergrowth, the burning newspaper a beacon in the darkness. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the frogs vanished. The forest fell silent, the only sound the crackle of the burning paper. Daniel collapsed to his knees, his body trembling with exhaustion and relief. He had escaped, but as he lowered the burning paper, his gaze fell on something at his feet. A single, normal-sized frog sat there, its eyes reflecting the firelight, but these eyes, they held a knowing, almost mocking glint. Daniel's blood ran cold. He had escaped the frogs, but what had he escaped into?